Hello and welcome. It's Charles Fockaert, April 20th, 2019. And again, I welcome all of you. Thank those of you who support this channel. Last night was the full moon. I got some images of that I'd like to show you. Last night, you had to kind of be there. There's that same moon a few hours later. I got these this morning. I got up early. And this is what I was able to see this morning. It was a very, very beautiful morning out here in Arizona. Let's go back. I kind of like that one. And no wind, not too hot yet. And it was just a very quiet, relaxing morning with my first and only cup of coffee. There's the clouds this morning. They weren't spraying. This is what I saw looking toward the northeast, and that's looking north. And wow, it was just a beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. I'm sitting here this morning thinking about what to put on a video. I'm working on a number of things at the same time here. I'm working on clean and unclean foods. I also have another one where I can show using just two instruments on the instrument panel of an airplane. You can provide the evidence needed to know we live on a level plane Earth. But you know, I'm not moved yet to share those, because those things aren't the most important thing. And I got to realizing this morning that I'm drained out. I need to recharge myself. It's been a kind of dry couple of days, shall we say, with a few things going on. And so I thought of Psalm 61:2. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? Psalm 61. This is a song of David. Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And for me, that rock is Christ. And so I couldn't help but think of Christ. Whenever I need a recharge, you know, I have the panels on the roof, and they use the energy. They take the energy from the sun and they put it down here in the batteries, and then I can use different things, laptop, my phone, other things here that I need, the fan, etc., lights, and then I can operate and have a better life. And so it's the same way with us as a being. We need to be recharged, and we need spiritually recharged. So this morning I went to see how Jesus Christ, who was not a Jew, the Judeo-Christians look at Jesus Christ as not of their tribe. We're, quote, Gentiles. We're non-Jews, and Jesus was a Jew, and he went to the Jews first. Well, no. Jesus was not a Jew, and Jesus didn't go to the Jews first. Jesus came to the house of Israel. So when you have that concept in your mind, you understand what Jesus Christ was doing, Yeshua, if you will. You begin to realize it's a very personal thing. It's a lot more personal when the fella, when the God, when the Redeemer, when the Lion is actually of your people, your kin. And this means more to me. I don't know about you, but let's go have a look at Luke, shall we? So let's just begin here at Luke 22:63. And the men that held Jesus mocked him and smote him. What I want to make here is this word held here. That means he was under arrest. So my guess is his hands were bound and maybe even his feet. And otherwise he would have hit him. He may have hit them back. They wouldn't have been as brave, shall we say. And when they had blindfolded him, they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, Prophesy, who is it that smote thee? And many other things blasphemously spoke they against him. So he's chained up, and they blindfold him, and then they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, Prophesy, who is it that smote thee? They I kind of the idea of they're blindfolding him is it reminded me of when you go on to a forum or somewhere on a channel, YouTube, and a comment section, and the other individual is a fake namer. And I don't have a problem with you using a different name. You don't want to be, hey, I get that part, okay? But you know what? I think when you do that, when you use a fake name, you shouldn't be able to attack. You shouldn't be able to use ad hominem attack against someone else, because the other person, myself, I use my real name. This is who I am, and you're hiding behind a fake name. But anyway, behind a blindfold, I'm the one that's blindfolded. I can't tell who you are, and they strike him on the face. That's what they would like to do. And I wanted to hone in a little bit on many other things blasphemously spoke they against him. And you know, this is they kept it clean here, folks. There was probably a lot of F words used here and worse. And you know, your mother is a whore and all this other stuff didn't get put down here. So he has to put up with all this abuse. And let's go back and have a look at what Jesus said before the elders and the chief priests and the scribes. Here, Luke 22:66, and as soon as it was day, so what just happened? Him being blindfolded and struck on the face, and that happened at night. That happened at night. That's when the evil likes to work at night, under the cover of darkness. The elders of the people, let's go on. The elders of the people and the chief priest and the scribes all come together and led him into their council, saying, Art thou the Christ? Tell us. And he said, If I tell you, you will not believe. And if I also ask you, you will not answer me, nor let me go. So what's the point, he's saying? Hereafter, though, I'm going to tell you a fact. Hereafter shall the Son of Man sit on the right hand of the power of God. Then said they all, Art thou then the Son of God? And he said unto them, Ye say that I am. Ye say that I am. And they said, What need we of any further witness? For we ourselves have heard of his own mouth. So isn't that what we're going through right now, people? If I tell you, he says, if I tell you the scribes, the chief priests, the elders of the people, all the big shots, all the people in authority with the alphabet after their name, if I tell you, you will not believe. And if I ask you questions about what the hell you're doing, you will not answer me, and you're not going to let me go. So what's the point of my saying anything? But I will tell you this. Hereafter shall the Son of Man sit on the right hand of the authority of the power of Yahweh. We're in Luke 23 now, the next chapter, and Jesus before Pilate, and the whole multitude of them arose and led him to Pilate. Now, keep in mind, I still believe he's chained or roped in some way, at least hands and perhaps the feet. Let's jump down here to Luke 23:5. You can read this for yourself. Put this in here as an insert because I get this all the time, and right here in Luke 23:3, and Pilate asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And somebody will always come on here and quote one of these kind of verses that talk about Jesus being the king of the Jews. And they'll have heard me say earlier that Jesus was not a Jew. And here we have Pilate asking him, saying, "Art thou the king of the Jews?" So let's have a look at this a little deeper, shall we? It's so easy, folks, to find out that he's not talking about the Jews as we know the Jews, who are really the Esau Edomites. He's talking about Eodeos. And right here in Strong's, this is just one place you can get the meaning of this word, and it's as a country in the sense of 2455. You can go look that up. It's Judean, that is belonging to Jehudah, belonging to Judah. And again, keep in mind that everything past this colon and hyphen is not in the meaning, is not how the word is defined. It's how the word was translated. A lot of people get mixed up. They see this as being part of the meaning. No, 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 no. That's just how the word was used, and that is what has led to a lot of the misunderstanding and outright lies. Before we leave, look at G 2455, Judas, that is Jehudah, the name of the 10 Israelites, also of the posterity of one of them in its region, Judah. What he's saying there, what Pilate is asking, are you the king of the Judeans? Are you the king of the tribe of Judah? Are you the king of the tribes? See, they were in Judah. They were in Jerusalem, which was part of Judah. And Israel was to the north. So there was two separate kingdoms here, which makes it a little more confusing. And Jesus Christ said, I have not come. I have not come but or except for the house of Israel, the lost sheep of the house, the posterity, the offspring, the family of Israel. Now, why you Judeo-Christians want to twist that and make it into a pretzel theology, spiritualize the sperm, it's spiritual, blah, 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 you're wrong. Get over it and move on, would you? You're supporting the enemy. And they were the more fierce, saying, He stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place. Oh, I'm going to put this in here as an insert. I went back over, and I think it applies here in verse 23:5. And they were the more fierce, saying, He stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place. I want to go take a look at this word Jewry, and I want to ask you, why is this word translated Jewry? Here we are, G 2449 in Strong's, Eudea. Right here's the meaning, the Judean land, that is Judea, a region of Palestine. And even in the non-meaning, non-definition part of this explanation here is the word Judah. You'll notice Jewry is not used. Why did they translate this word Jewry? Is it because they want you to be confused? Which was Jerusalem. So when Pilate heard of Galilee, that Jesus was from Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean. And as soon as he knew that he belonged unto Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself was also at Jerusalem at that time. And when Herod saw Jesus, he was exceeding glad, for he was desirous to see him of a long season. He wanted to see Jesus for a long time and didn't have the opportunity. So now he was going to get his chance to see this man that he had heard many things of, and he had hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Verse 9, then he questioned him, and this is what really encouraged me for some reason, some strange reason. And then he questioned him in many words, but he answered him nothing. Don't you love it? Don't you just love it? Here's Herod. Herod, you got to remember now, is an Edomite Jew, Esau Edomite Jew, and actually he's just an Esau Edomite, and the Jews want you to think the Esau Edomites are Jews, and they want you to think that they're the tribe of Judah. They're not. And so here we have Yeshua the Christ, equal with God, for he is God. The Word was with God in the beginning. The Logos was with God in the beginning. And it's through Jesus Christ, it was through Yeshua that the Father created everything. But anyway, so here's the kinsman redeemer, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who's claiming to be the Messiah. He said, "You're the one who say that I am." See, he never. If you read Proverbs, when we read Proverbs, we see that we're not supposed to blow our own horn, folks. We're not supposed to blow our own horn. So here's the one that more than anyone else has the credentials, has the majesty, has the authority, has he's a creator, he's the king, he's the creator of heaven and earth. And here's an Esau Edomite Jew, couldn't wait to have an audience with Yeshua, and Yeshua doesn't say a single word to him. Able to go have a party when he's having all his Esau Edomite friends over and drinking wine and getting drunk and talking about how he had an audience with Yeshua the Christ, this blasphemer, who they hate with a passion. And remember the very first Herod, he tried to kill him. He tried to kill Yeshua. They killed all of the male children there in Bethlehem right after the birth of Christ. So he didn't care about how much pain he caused in the whole area there. Didn't care. He wanted them killed. That's not the same Herod, but they're all related, folks. They're all related. Herod questioned him in many words, but he answered him nothing. Didn't even give him, he wasn't worth his breath, folks. And the chief priest, next verse, and the chief priests and scribes stood. They stood up. I saw an Esau Edomite judge in the courtroom. He stood up with spittle coming out of his mouth. He was so angry. He didn't give reasons. He gave rulings. So they all stood up and they vehemently accused him. And Herod, with his men of war, set him at naught and mocked him and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe and sent him again to Pilate. And the same day Pilate and Herod were made friends together, for before they were at enmity between themselves. Folks, I tell you, what really gets them the most is when you don't say anything at all. And you don't say anything at all. You don't waste your breath. You don't cast your pearls before swine. We have the higher ground, folks. We have the higher ground. I want to thank you for watching and thank you for supporting this channel. May the grace of God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ, may their grace be upon us all, the Israelites of the 12 tribe of Judah, the Western Europeans, Scandinavians, those in South Africa being attacked and murdered, Australians, French, all the Danes, the Swedes, I don't want to leave anybody out, folks. I don't want to leave you. The Irish, the Italians, the Italians were the Romans, folks, of the tribe of Judah. So don't forget that. There's some people trying to get others to think that everybody that comes from certain parts of Italy are all Jews. Not the case. But may His grace be upon us all, for it is obvious as we look around, we see all the problems. You know what's interesting? Before the fire was even out, they were already saying, the officials in France were saying that it wasn't arson, it wasn't terrorism. They were so quick to rule that out. Well, that's a bunch of male cow dung, folks. Nobody can tell that quick while the fire's still going whether it was terrorism or arson or not. You know, the architecture there in that building, as a building contractor, when you think about it, it took 100 years to build that cathedral. And you notice how the attack is now starting to go toward the Roman Catholics. The Roman Catholics are starting, the Roman Catholic Church now is starting to come more into the mainstream. There's a lot going on there. It's going to be illegal to be anti-Catholic, Roman Catholic here pretty soon, just like it's going to be illegal to be an anti-Esau Edomite. All the more, we need to recharge. We need to, when our heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. May His grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See you.